Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by GhostBed.com. James!
Gorgeous.
Almost recording quality. We were real late today, playing real fast and loose with the term noon here. It's almost noon for us, so that counts. I'll be honest with the audience here that we were stuck in traffic. I thought for sure it was an accident because it just didn't move right for an hour.
Nope. Just growing too fast.
Boy.
Too many of those California bitches did not listen to me.
I called Papa G, and then the boys, and I said, "Hey, Jessie and I are stuck. It's probably an accident, and we're gonna be late." When I got to the front of that, I don't know where you were behind me.
That's why I was asking you: is it all the way onto the freeway, or is it just to the entrance? Because that's always how it is.
Well, I wasn't up there, so once I got up there, it's never been that bad. Like I drive it every single day. It's never been that bad. When I got up there and I saw no accident, I was like, whoopsies, is COVID's now over and people are going back to, is this our real traffic? Because if so, man, we're going to have to take some old town roads and try to get here because that's not the way.
Well, look, there is great old town roads by us, but you have to catch them in certain places and...
Oh, Austin. I did a Patreon last night because shit has gotten crazy. And we can't wait to catch you up here today. This is what we came for here, Jabes.
Yes.
I did a thing on Austin. I heard Tim Dillon, who I'm a huge fan of, his show where he's announced that he's leaving Austin.
He's leaving
after 4 months, and pretty much burned every single bridge to the ground and all that stuff. And I said, look, we're not leaving Austin. We love Austin. However, you can't control like the madness here, the growth, like you were talking about, of the city, and not only that, but workers.
Right.
Can't control the workers. Now, we've been in an ongoing battle of the ages with Clear Reflections Pool here in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
7 months. No pool built for the children, right?
Sure.
We are the world.
I know.
We are the
Should we start a GoFundMe?
Not for us.
I know. I'm joking.
For this guy, and it probably is his legal funds at this point, Jonathan Brown. Things got real frisky. So to catch you up to speed, we fired them. Yes. And then he showed up and was just like, well, I want payment for this and this and this and this. And I was like, look, we paid you 3/4 of the pool because you've done 3/4 of the pool. There's still a quarter left of the pool to be done.
And I want to be clear that their bait and switch, which we'll get into, was, handshake with the old man, coordinate with the old man, and then when it's time for money,
who's his father?
Little Bunky comes
Spalding.
on over.
Spalding from Caddyshack.
Yeah,
is Jonathan Brown.
He flat foots over. He clomps over to us, to me. I meet him wherever he needs to be met for a check. I got him money anytime he needed it.
What wasn't there
and
one
that
time?
Check would clear as soon as I left the parking. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like that they did a great job of staying on time with, right? They could somehow get to the bank really, really quick.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where before we hopped into this, a lot of people said getting a pool is a fucking nightmare. Don't do it. Whatever, right? We didn't think it was going to be this bad. With that being said, they said don't finance, pay for it if you can pay for it. I was like, all right, great. Because I guess financing, they'll just drag it out forever because they know you're stuck, like financing it somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Where with cash,
with
cash, you're able to say, hey, dude, we can pay you as soon as this job is done and this job is done, and then you can move on with your life.
And I want to be clear too, anytime, any correspondence, I said, let me know what you need. I can mail stuff for you. I know I'm not there, but the doors are open. There are construction workers there. Tell me what I am very good about being like, and tell me what I need to pay. Always.
Yeah, yeah. So there was one time. Here's how lazy this dude is. He was so lazy, he wouldn't even drive to the house for a check because that was too far. If memory serves me correct, didn't he tell you to meet him in like a Chick-fil-A parking lot that was halfway or something like that?
Chick-fil-A parking lot that was halfway. I've met him with kids screaming in the car. I've met him when I couldn't meet him. And this was for money only. It wasn't at my house for the job.
No.
It wasn't at my house to go over design. It wasn't at my house for timeline. So look, the other thing I want to say is we have talked about this a lot. I don't know if people are getting tired of it. What I want to say is my fuse is very long. I don't go after companies for even a bad job. It's like, look, you didn't do a good job. You come by it honestly. Bye. Right? See you later. A mistake. Fine. Whatever. Like, it's when you are lying, thieving, and now, guys, you can add thug to your fucking resume because I don't know who it was.
Well, we do. We have surveillance footage and all that.
When
I
feel like I'm being taken advantage of personally, because I do give people the benefit of doubt. This handshake from the old man carried a lot of fucking weight with me, right?
Yeah, because we all have fathers, and that's how our fathers used to do business. So my grandparents used to do business. It's how I do business personally, where it's like, all right, great,
that's how
keep your word.
He would talk to me, and he's the person that I hired, right? Like this nice older dude that has a company, and he's gonna do it right, right?
Yeah.
That's who I hired. Who I ended up having to deal with was his little bink bonk.
Yeah.
You know, his little dunk, his little flat foot, okay? And it was a weird bait and switch in that I didn't understand at what point I need to be talking to this person and this person, and then we would put them both on a thread with you, and then Doink Doink would get back to me, and then
I would off the thread with me
only. Yeah. So the last bait and switch, the last thing that I did with him was a bait and switch, and I hope it really worked out well for him. I don't think it did, but you had messaged him that you were firing him. This is just unacceptable. More importantly, how we're being treated and how we're being talked to, right? And how we're being dealt with.
Just lied to over and over.
So you're no
work,
done.
No work was getting done. We're just staring at an empty backyard.
If you need to be paid for something or whatever, we can go to arbitration. We can do it the way that these things are done. He then gets off that thread and messages the person that is a pushover. And I'm sorry, I just am, right? Like if you are nice and you are whatever, like I take you at your word. So then he gets off the thread, starts talking to me, and is like, hey, so we can go over the tile design, and I'm just going to need to get a check from you. So where can you meet? Are you around? And I'm like, yeah, I'm around. I'm at the house. Yep, I'm here. Just me. So I go, yep, I'm here. He's giving me updates every second of his trip. 5 minutes away, 2 minutes away, 1 minute away, pulling in now. I go, oh, cool. Meet me by the pool. Did he meet me by the pool?
No, I didn't.
That's called a bait and switch. And by the way, Jonathan, you know it well.
Yeah. So you met me by the pool, and I had some very strong words for Jonathan. I said, look, because he's like, we have work that's owed. I was like, no, we've paid you for 3/4 the job.
But that's great. You're just going to have to submit like invoices, things that I have paid for, things that I haven't, because I trusted you enough for you to say, hey, I need this check. Right. And I would give it right to you.
Not one invoice, no nothing.
No. So I don't know what I've paid for and what I haven't. So that's what arbitration is for, you fucking thug.
Yeah.
It's to deal with these things in a way that's like, okay, tell me what I owe you, but I need it to be broken down. And by the way, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
No.
Because you are a liar and a thief. So like I need to be talking to somebody's lawyer. I need to see paperwork in front of me that shows what I actually paid for and what I still owe you. And I'm not about not paying people for work, but I need things to be at this point on the up and up. Because taking you at your handshake did not work out well for me, and you're ruining me as a person.
So what happened was I fired him, and he said, look, I think I'm owed X. And I go, well, we've paid for 3/4 of this. 3/4 of the work has been done. If you think you're owed X, in the contract, there's an arbitration clause. I go, take it to arbitration. We'll just go to court and figure it out. I don't care. Like,
we contacted our lawyer. We're like, you're going to be getting a phone
I even
call.
gave him my lawyer's thing. And I was like, hey, because we have a brand new legal team. Just moved here. We have a brand new legal team in Austin, Texas. And I go, here's my lawyer's number. Just fucking call him.
And by the way, like Jonathan and Mike, like I want to pay you for the work that you have done, but I need to know what that is, because meeting you in Chick-fil-A
really
for a check from the wife is not going to fucking cut it anymore, thug.
So he goes, I want some equipment that he's attached, like a heater and something else. And I go, no, like
great. If
go
I
to
can
arbitration,
see some
proper
paperwork,
invoices, whatever.
I will rip it out myself.
Yeah. Be happy to give it to you, right? So he ends up calling my lawyer, and my lawyer calls me and goes, hey, man, I don't think he understands what arbitration means. Like, he's got to set that up, go through the court, and then, you'll get
his money. He's trying to get his money.
And I go,
come get it.
He goes, you'll get a letter in the mail or something. He goes, I don't really need to deal with this. And I was like, all right, great.
Cool. Didn't get a letter in the mail.
No.
Tell you what we did get.
Middle of the night, we got robbed.
1 a.m. Okay. In the darkness, pretty bold in a neighborhood like ours to not think that our neighbors, which both of them do, have surveillance. So
yeah, the cops already are out there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Robbed. See, he robbed us. Took all the pool equipment, some type of heaters, something else, whatever. Right. That was drilled into the thing.
Tile.
And I just texted him at like fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. I go, look. It was cute what you did by stealing all the equipment and blah blah blah. And he goes,
scaring my family.
I have my rights. He goes, in the contract I can repossess anything. I go, no. In the contract, again, you go to arbitration. You tell them what has and hasn't been paid for. You can't just show up and steal off somebody's property. So I've obviously filed charges against him, and he doesn't know what arbitration is. So like, dude, at this dollar amount which he took. It's a felony. So he's going to be facing felony theft charges. I have one more meeting with a constable. That's how small of a town we live in that I've got to meet with we have one officer or one sheriff. I don't really know what, give me the definition of what a constable is. Hot bomb. I got to know what that is. But we are,
So to that point, just real quick, one of my friends just started, Yellowstone. And I told her, calm down. I know I'm happy that you're watching it, but I need you to calm down. Don't think that you want a log cabin. And I said to her, I was like, girl, I looked at a for real log cabin after watching Yellowstone. Yeah. And now I live in the Cunch. And I just want to let you know, watch it, have fun, but
There's one officer in town or one constable. What does it mean, Bob?
It's essentially
not get carried away.
It's an officer. It's not a uniform definition. It depends by jurisdiction.
Okay.
But typically they do both criminal and civil laws.
Oh.
So yesterday when fucking Mike and Tansy were complaining about getting called neighbors throwing snow at each other with their snow shovels.
Yeah.
That would be a constable. Preferably would be called out to that.
Oh, gotcha.
Instead of like a big violent situation.
Instead of like a sheriff's deputy.
When I called the police, I chatted with them and they were like, hey, is this a violent? And I go, no, dude. And I go, obviously we're pro cop on all these shows and we love cops. And I go, most of them listen to the show. And I go, no, dude, don't waste your fucking time. I was like, get here when you can get here. It's fine. Right. But who
set up these cameras and lights today?
Looks nice.
You need a bonus.
You look nice.
Who needs
that bonus? Who did it? Was that you?
Giorgio did it.
We
look fucking great, man.
We look great, Giorgio.
Good, dude.
You did good today.
There are comments even glowing.
Look at that.
Thank
I
you,
really
sir.
love the duo over here. Dan, can you just cut back to you two real quick?
Of course.
They look so good.
They really
big
do with
logo in the middle right there.
Yeah.
Great piece of fruit.
Oh, and look at the energy on those two. I mean, it's palpable. Look at that.
Apple is not a sponsor.
They are jumping out of their seats.
Not
with
a
joy.
sponsor. We ended up
They do look good, though.
pressing charges against old Clear Reflection. Well, Jonathan Brown in particular. Man, when that goes to court, because I think you have to go to court for some theft like that. Trial of the century against Clear Reflections, and we'll go live from the court, like outside. We'll really this will be our OJ. We need our OJ trial.
Can we call Judge Judy?
It's funny. So Judge Judy hit us up, what was that, 6 or 7 months ago and said, hey, do you have a case like this? But you got to go to Los Angeles and everything else. And then the other party has to agree to it. There's no way he'd agree to go on Judge Judy. It would be awesome.
I don't know.
It would be awesome.
Okay. He might. Little doink doink. We don't know what his...
Yeah. So what happened was I wrote my negative review after I fired him at the beginning of the week on Clear Reflections Pool and Spas. Again, it's the one in Austin, Texas. It's not to be confused with the one in California. And the guy wrote this lengthy response who says, I'd like to refer you to the Section 4, the responsibility of the buyer. The buyer agrees to make payments called for by this contract at all time. All payment received later than 3 days. Then the time exceeds the complete hereunder, blah, 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 each additional 3 days for the late date. Never got an invoice. Again, he would just call you and then meet you in a Chick-fil-A parking lot somewhere, and then you would write a check, and then he would cash it like right in front of your face.
And by the way, like no one, and this is why I get so pissed, because like I pay. I pay. I want to pay. I understand people need to get paid, like to a point where I get in trouble sometimes because I'm like, oh, you want to get, I'm like, nah, that doesn't seem right. Let's pay you a little more. Like I'm like that person. Yeah.
You're super nice. You're like the nicest human ever.
No, but if someone does good work, I want them to get paid what I feel and what they feel and what we're both comfortable with to get the job done right. So it's like I'm always, along with my text, and I have the correspondence where I'm like, and let me know if you need me to mail a check or where to mail a check or whatever to keep this thing going. So Craig.
Here's the what?
$99.99.
Look at that.
For the best people in the biz and great friends to have.
We love Craigers. We love Craigers.
And Ross. And Ross.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. We're going to have a nooner on here in a second to describe this. A lot of people are going through shit like this. I've got hundreds of messages about this. Like everybody's having fucking problems. And then he writes, Section 3, responsibilities of the contractor conditions. The contractor shall not be responsible for delay or failure to perform work. When such delay is due to acts of God, inclement weather, the date of completion provided for herein shall be extended 3 days for each calendar day of delay caused by any or all of the events referred to in this paragraph. It's been 7 months. The pool was supposed to have been done by March. The act of God, I'm imagining, was the storm, but that lasted, 8 days? After that, the contractors had no problem working after that. So
right, and they were there every single day. And I did say that too about, look, the contractor was not cheap. But I will say this, he must have paid his subs because they showed up, right? So if you are a company, if you hire a company and they just cannot get subs out to work, I can't find a plumber. I can't find a stonemason. That's because if you've been in business for that long, that's because you fucked somebody over.
Yeah,
you're
not
People know
paying.
you don't pay.
Yeah.
People know you're not good to work with, and you can't get fucking people out there. And guess where they're going? Somewhere else where people pay and take care of them. So it's not my problem that you run your company in such a way that subs don't want to fucking work for you.
Yeah. So he goes, now we can get down to the facts and the timeline of the last 7 months. And he had said in a text message, now that we have a timeline, I was like, we don't have a timeline. You made one up, and that's fine. This was even more depressing that he wrote this. Your contract with us was signed 11/23/20. So this was 8 months now. That just added another month to it of my depression of like, oh, dude, did I sign this with you 8 months ago now? Like I was saying 7 and being generous.
Yep.
Now it's been 8 months. 8 months.
And that was the signing of the contract. I had met with Father Brown, a long time before that. And then was like, okay. And then they talk about the HOAs. It's like, dude, it's fucking whatever. I mean, I don't know if we have to go through the whole thing, but basically everything he's saying is a lie. So if you want to go and read the review.
No, and it's like, we gave him a down payment of $8,000. He claimed we were owed for the excavation by 2/1. We didn't receive payment until 4/13.
Why not? You just got to fucking tell me, bro.
And here's the other thing is they weren't done. They weren't done with the job. So fuck.
Even our neighbors were like, man.
No.
How deep is your pool? 30 foot? I mean, they're like, Jesus Christ. And it is like, when you're going through stone too, like our neighbors were like, I mean, we're cool for a couple weeks, but when you're still fucking jackhammering 3 weeks in, like people, I don't know, whatever. It's hard to feel. Gunite
was completed on 3/19. No, it wasn't. There wasn't anyone there the entire month of March. Everybody left. Our GC was there every single day. what happened was when the storm hits, they bounced for 3 entire months. Like all of this.
No, what happened was as soon as they get their checks, they fucking bounce.
Yeah,
and
they leave.
It is
They leave.
pretty typical. Again, I don't know if we're talking to someone about it, but it is pretty typical for, I guess, people out here that are getting pools. They're like, you have to be careful because once you pay them for a certain
See you later.
section, they say, see you later. They start another job and they'll come back when they fucking come back. And by the way, that's when I should have fired him, but again, gave him a bit, like, because then we would have been all square, right? I just gave you a big check. You cashed it in 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
And then I don't see you for 4 months. Like, that's when I should have been like, okay, clearly they don't want this job anymore. Let me find someone else. But I just didn't know that that's what you can do or what you should do or whatever. I just don't fucking know.
The other part about this with the gunite, he said, we did not receive the payment for $24,000. No, because we wrote you a check for $47,000. So I have it. It's an executed check, and fuck off.
And again, all you got to do, I
Double-
was texting you constantly
Double
with
that
no
amount.
response.
Double that amount.
Any of those responses could have been, we just need to get paid for this, and we'll be out there at that point. And I do not argue with that at all.
No.
I send a check, I cut a thing, I fucking Venmo you, whatever it is.
Yeah. And then the rest of it, he says, we need a deck check totaling $20,000, whatever. That was the last third of the payment. Yes, but the pool has not been done. Once you got fired, then he was just like, oh, no, I didn't show up for weeks or would show up for like an hour. I think he showed up for 2 hours one day with a pump or something like that.
If he spent as much time on the pool as he did trying to take down these fucking comments, it'd be done. So you have time. Apparently you have time. And by the way, you're not working. Like, I was at the house working. I was here 4 days. No, you weren't. I had twins. Cool. You're not doing the fucking work.
I don't care what you did. Did you physically have them?
As
Were
long
you
as
the pregnant man on Oprah who physically had these babies?
But you're the owner of the company, so you're not in the fucking hole doing the digging.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have newborn. Oh, my dad fucking broke his back. Sad, love old Father Brown, but he's not in the hole digging it. So it's like there's no reason why he can't just get his fucking sub out there.
No, so it was endless
fine.
Excuses from this guy, and and the other thing is too clearly when you rob somebody's house and then claim arbitration or whatever, you don't know what the definition of that means. You actually have to go to court for it and then prove it. The other hard time you're going to have, Jonathan, is you don't have any invoices that were emailed for any of these things and or dates, and that's what they ask for in an arbitration. I know because I've owned my own company for 16,
and
17
Jonathan,
years
the only thing I have is all text correspondence and cut checks.
Yeah.
So that's what I have.
And
if you have something different, you can show. Judy.
We can show the fucking arbitrator. I don't give a shit. Do whatever
My
you want.
only thing is, I think Judge Judy would not like me. Don't you think? She doesn't like a
sassy broad.
No, like
a little talkback broad.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, if I don't have paperwork, she's gonna just tell me to shut up. Like, she's not gonna want to see my text message. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But that's all I have. Like, that's the only thing they gave me.
Yeah.
I can't record a handshake.
No. And the other part about this is the hilarious part. They've gotten hundreds of negative reviews on Google. And again, to be clear, it's not the one in California. It's Clear Reflections Pools and Spas.
No, they're just gonna fucking
here
change their
in
name
Austin,
and
Texas.
start
Yeah, that's
over.
what everybody has to do usually. But they're writing people back now because they're so angry, and they're like, "Your boy Ross," and I'm like, "Oh, I would kill to have that writer's job, whoever that is." It's amazing. So fire away on Google reviews because they're going to give you a personalized response, which is nice.
It had to be one of them because I didn't talk to anyone else, like a secretary or a thing. Like,
well, they have time because they're not building pools. So, I mean, one would think they've got endless time for paperwork. But a lot of people are going through this. You want to patch in the Zoom call? Who do we got here? Oh, I said 3 minutes. All right.
So then I will say, first of all, like, I know it's hard to feel sorry for someone bitching about a pool. So, like, I'm aware of all of that. I think it's just a little bit deeper as far as, like,
it's having kids.
People and how, I don't know. Look, again, I get it. I get that it's like, shut the fuck up.
No, it's my
about
problem
your
with
pool,
it.
but it is money, and it is money that we all
But
work really
you
hard
work
for.
hard for it, and I still treat money like Dude, when I used to kick the shit out of people for $80, dude, I still care about $80. Like, I don't give a shit what it is. Fuck. Fake Dan and I have a bet over a jersey that we have to wear for the next 30 days. There's nothing financially in it. And like last night, I'm watching the game as if someone might die on the court.
Pride is in it, Ross.
It exists. Yes, but nobody has pride anymore, Giorgio. And God damn it, that was a perfect segue. No one has pride. No one cares. It's this endless cycle of cuckness that we live in. No one gives a shit about their job. I looked at the unemployment numbers that were out yesterday. Unemployment numbers have gone up. Some people on the right are blaming Biden for this or whatever. I'm actually not on this one. I try to call it like I see it on both ways, even though I'm a conservative. Dude, politically, that has nothing to do with Biden. People don't want to work.
No.
Because they're getting fucking checks. So if you want to blame the check thing on Biden, fine.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. So nobody wants to work.
He fought really fucking hard for that.
Yeah.
In the very, very end of the pandemic, we were looking like we were coming out, and he said, no, they need money.
They need more money.
And look, like, fine, but not everybody.
Not everyone.
Not everyone.
So, yeah, man.
Like, Giorgio doesn't need any money. He's fucking rich.
He's getting there. You're getting there. How many shows because we started, what, Mike the Cop show? That starts tomorrow with Eric Tanzi. Failure to Stop is our new show on the network. Got about 15 shows now. And then we'll say this here, and we'll chat about it on Fake News after this afternoon. You guys had reached out to us over a Drinking Bros episode that we had with the Giggle Boys. It was a crazy, crazy episode. And
I love those
we got tons of messages, and they were like, "Hey, dude, can you sign the Giggle Boys to the network?" And I go, "Yeah." We got so many messages. I was like, "Yeah, let's sign them to the network." So they were shooting yesterday, right?
Did 3 episodes yesterday with the Giggle Boys.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Getting a bunch in the can. They had a famous Canadian comedian friend of theirs. I don't want to tease too much soon, but
Sure.
he said, you guys fail into everything. You failed into this, right? And I was like, yeah. And if anyone knows us, Power Donkey is really special here in the audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Failing upwards, which, perfect addition to the crew.
Yeah. I love
Wow,
those
they
guys.
went 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Love those
That's
guys.
hardcore.
They're fucking funny
That's
as shit.
stamina.
Dude. Even just chatting with them before they were about to shoot yesterday. God damn it, they're just fucking funny, man. So we're gonna put them on our YouTube channel here. I know it's on our Drinking Bros podcast. We might rename it to some form of studios now at this point, since we got so many shows.
Yeah.
Like for real. That's going to be our Saturday night show. I think it's crazy enough. I've always wanted to have a crazy like Saturday night show where you're just like, all right, what the fuck is this? Saturday Night Live is dead.
Yeah.
Let's get 2 guys on here who don't give a baker's fuck.
And they are very good at doing shit for premium content
Yeah,
only,
they're
which
great.
I love.
Yeah. Homeboy had a samurai sword in here yesterday.
Perfect.
It was amazing.
Signed by Randy Jackson.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Which Randy Jackson? Hang on, there's 2.
Yeah, exactly.
The baseball player.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
What?
There is no baseball player.
Oh, well, I just made
Randy
that up.
Johnson?
Reggie Jackson?
Maybe.
Wait, the guy from American Idol? Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, is it Randy Jackson from
Is it Nah
from
Dog?
American Idol or Michael Jackson's brother? Those are the 2 Randy Jacksons in this world that are famous.
Is it?
American
It's a
Idol.
no from me, dog.
Oh,
guy?
American Idol?
Yeah, it's to complete the Step Brothers.
Yeah, but he signed the samurai sword?
Either he did or I did, or there's Randy Jackson's signature on it now.
That's why we look so good, is he is high as hell.
Yeah, dude.
And he's like, let me add this light. Not enough. Let me add another light.
Bob,
make it blue. Make
add
it
his
pink.
milligram countdown to what he's eating today, and then just make sure he achieves that before we start every show.
Yeah,
Because it's great.
that's great. It's working.
Did Homeboy pop in yet?
Lloyd just popped in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
put him up
Go
on
ahead
screen.
and tease the audience of our.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have millions of listeners and all that shit, right? But all of them do one of these jobs. So Lloyd hit me up yesterday. He goes, "Hey man, I can tell you why the fucking pool guy's not doing shit. So
Please,
pop him in." Yeah, Lloyd.
son.
What's up, Mom, Dad?
What's going on, hombre?
Not much.
Nooners in the house, Nooners on Zoom. So you and I chatted yesterday, and you said you knew the reason why Clear Reflections and these other companies are fucking people over. Is it because of the pandemic and everybody's trying to add on to their house, live where they want to live, and do all that other shit? What's the real reasoning for all this stuff?
Looking at these guys, I just think they're predatory asshole contractors. I read through their response and I couldn't believe the shit they actually put on there and admitted to for the public to read. And I wish I would have known you guys were going to sign that contract, because I would have told you guys to run from it, because it's
do you not have to sign a contract when you hire?
No, you do. Of a job that big, for this reason, in case it goes to arbitration or whatever, like, yes, you do need to sign a contract.
But you were saying the wording on this one was
weird, wonky.
I mean, everyone's going to give you a contract, but as a client, it's more than acceptable for you to redline that contract.
Yeah.
And the 3 days for every 1 day late on a payment,
which we weren't.
That's absolutely bullshit. That contract is, I've seen those contracts a lot.
Right.
And I always redline that shit out of there, because that contract they have is completely to their benefit. And which, I mean, understandable as a business owner, you want to protect your business, but I mean, Jesus, it's bullshit.
Well, when it's funny, because when I got the contract, I called my lawyer and he goes, "It's a pool, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "What is that, a 3-month job?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you really want to pay for this?" And I was like, "Not really." I was like, "It says arbitration there. I'm happy to go to arbitration." He goes, "Great. Let's move on with our lives today, Ross." And I was like, "All right, cool."
Right.
Now, the other part of this, Lloyd, is what are companies doing like this? You were chatting with me about it yesterday, where they kind of stretch you out for 7-8 months and all that other shit. What's the ploy and the tactic behind that?
Well, what a lot of these smaller companies do, like the company I work for, we don't do that. We do like $1 to $8 million projects.
Yeah, you guys are huge. Yeah,
I do 6 at a time, and I'll do them in 3 months, and I do 6 at a time 4 times a year. So I'll do like 24 projects in a year, $1 to $8 million. But
right.
These smaller outfits like this, what they do is they want to, in the beginning, they're going to get a lot of people on the hook, and like, say your pool, they might have betted a little more aggressively to get the job. But then as they started to book up, then they probably started bidding higher and higher on pools because of desperation. So those are their money makers, whereas there might not be as much money in profit margin in your job. And the ones that they're probably actively pursuing right now are the ones that they're hitting higher percentages.
Got it. So that would make sense then
figured.
of why they just picked up and left for 3 months. Like, that makes sense. Yeah, I understand it. Again, not our fault when we signed shit. It was
I guess, Lloyd, I wanted to know, like, if that, because I signed the contract, right? Because I was like very trusting. So I guess I'm wondering what we actually did, or if they're just being assholes. Because the thing of not paying, like I was saying on the show, like I would ask them constantly, and I have it in the text, like, what do I owe you? I can mail you a check and blah, blah, blah. So that was bullshit. And I would meet him wherever to give him a check. So they're just lying basically at this point, right?
Yeah, they're just stringing you along.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
And I want to, like, there's a couple of key points that I wanted to bring up while I was on here. Is one, like the 10% down. Okay, yeah, that's pretty customary I don't even know if it was 10%, but the down payment that they said,
it was 10%. Yeah,
that's
right.
pretty customary. That's
It
it lets them know that you're serious. It gives them some money for mobilization to move their people out there and start the job. Now, the second payment that I saw for digging the hole, almost $25,000. I mean, what are you, Bill? Are you going to host the Olympics in your backyard? Like, to dig a fucking pool like that I've dug fucking pools like that when I was an equipment operator before I got in the office, and it's a skid steer and a mini excavator or maybe a backhoe for 8 to 10 hours.
Yep.
That's $3,000. Like,
well,
for the machine, the fuel, and the labor for the guy. So $25,000, like, fuck off.
Yeah. And there was a lot. I will say this: there was a lot of rocks out there. So
So in
Texas, you don't know when you dig into the ground if there's rocks or not. There was a lot of rocks. I will say that. But either way, we wrote him a check for $47K. So I don't really give a shit about that.
$25,000. That should have been fucking solid granite, and it should have involved rock drills and blasting.
Okay.
Gotcha. And it might have. Again, there was some rocks. So I don't know.
I don't know. But like our whole yard is a fucking disaster. Our fence is taken down. They've fucked up our neighbor's yard. And that was all from that dig too. And so, and then we even paid them more on top of that for pouring a deck, Lloyd, like concrete. You know what I'm saying? So it just feels like it's nice to know that it's like, hey man, that was kind of a lot for that time. I've never, paid for a job that wasn't done, right? Like you always hold back
usually
amount.
The last 25% you pay them when they're finished or whatever. Otherwise, if you're just writing them a check and they don't finish the job, people can just bounce. And at that point, it had been 8 months. And again, the beauty of having this many millions of listeners is we have experts out there for all this shit. So we'll literally just bring you on the show because I think this is helpful for everybody else because everybody else is going through issues with fucking companies and all that stuff. Not just in Austin, Texas, but Wilmington, Florida is having a lot of issues and all that other shit. So I appreciate it. Lloyd, any last advice here for anybody else out in the audience who's looking to add on to their house and all that stuff?
Just know your contractor, like research. And I mean, they can have the best Google reviews, but that doesn't mean that they're actually good.
Most people don't have them. I will say that. So like it was hard to find somebody with more than like 3 or 4 reviews.
That's probably because they have shitty reviews. And that's the thing. These contractors can actually petition Google or Angie's List or wherever the hell they're getting the reviews, and they can have them removed. Homeboy freaking had 40 of them removed. I think there was 70 reviews on there, and it started with like 6 at the beginning of it when I got the Facebook notification. And
now they're down to 21, so they've probably wiped 100 or so off of there.
Yeah, and they haven't been able to wipe mine because of the way I wrote mine. I wrote it as I'm your follow-up contractor waiting for the pool to get done so I can start on your pool house.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So they can't get mine removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we appreciate you being here, Lloyd. We appreciate all the Nooners out there because you guys all do this shit in real life. And it's awesome. I will say that. This is like having a show like this where you have this many listeners. There is someone out there who does all of these jobs around the United States, and we can just pop them in and be like, all right, great.
So, Lloyd, can we have you come out and just
when are you coming back? When are you coming back in town, Lloyd?
The job, buy some drinks and stuff?
Yeah, just let me know. Let me know.
All right.
Call me offline and we'll figure it out, and I'll come down there. We're still we're rebuilding the Terra down there in Austin.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah.
I got a crew down there and got some other stuff. It's pretty slow right now. Hotels are slow during the summer because they're all booked up. No one wants to renovate. So
yeah, it's crazy. Downtown Austin is booked up hotel wise. We tried to get a guest a hotel, and I was like, whoa, that is crazy.
And my kids are in Round Rock anyway, so I'm always looking for a reason to come down there. That's
shit. Yeah, Round Rock is great. Awesome. Well, hey, Lloyd, we love you. We appreciate being here. And,
proud. I'm a proud mom.
Proud mom.
Love you guys too. And your care package will go out in UPS today.
I love you, Lloyd. I love you like a brother.
He's the best. Get him out
we
here.
We have the best listeners on the planet. We always get honest answers too, in just a very direct, easy way. Even when we got into that car sitch, AJ Gamble he was like, "Hey, bro, here's the deal."
Oh, that was perfect.
It's great. It's funny again when you have access to this many millions of people.
Well, I think it's also that
you're able to get the information quickly and concise.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of just trust all of our listeners.
You're too trusting. Oh, yeah. So do I.
You know what I mean? Like,
we actually try to hire them. I said it on Drinking Bros.
Because I know if I hire from Drinking Bros community,
never fuck up.
That shit would never happen.
Yesterday, we hired Drinking Bro to come in and do some handiwork around the office. God damn, the guy was fucking, a half hour early, and it was great.
Yeah, he was just here for 3.5 hours hanging out.
Because I didn't know that was him, and he just goes, "Hey man, I listened to the show. This is awesome. I want to see it." And I was like, "Oh shit, all right, cool. I don't want to waste your time." And he goes, and then at the end, because they always say the same thing, like, "Hey, you don't have to pay us." It's like, no, we pay everyone, dude.
Yes.
Everyone, because we want everybody to be fucking rich.
Because
so just tell us what it is.
When we say something like this, we don't want it to be like, oh, well, they don't fucking pay. It's like, no, we do.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It would get out, too. Like, with this many millions of it would get out. People would be like, no, they didn't pay us for this or whatever. It's like,
What, Giorgio?
Nothing.
Yeah, look at how high you are today.
Giorgio,
I haven't
what?
seen you this
you
high
were
in a while.
sitting there with the mic to your face.
I don't think he knew.
He
didn't know?
He's been blowing clouds in my face for the last.
Oh, my gosh. No, you haven't.
Unintentionally.
Is there a camera on Giorgio?
Not
Are
just
you aware of how high you look right now?
We're not flower,
and
right?
We're not kink shaming either. There
But
it
I
is.
do flower
It's the
shame.
eyes, Giorgio. It's the eyes, man. It's not your hair. Yeah, you were fixing your hair when I said you were high. Nothing to do with your hair whatsoever.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. So I was lighting a joint this morning, and it was before I came to work. And it was a half smoke joint, and so it was a little bit shorter, and I burnt my eyelashes off.
Oh, yes. I saw it on your Instagram, actually.
Yeah, I got embarrassed and took it down. But,
Did you really?
yes.
They're all gone, the eyelashes?
No, just my left one and just half of the eyelashes.
Oh, cute.
Okay.
And they
cute.
have that like little, you know, when hair gets burnt and it kind of gets red, a different color.
Oh, and like curly at the end?
Uh-huh.
Beautiful.
It fits your whole shit, dude. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, and I love you. But Bennifer's back at full strength. God damn it, they're really going hard. You got something in your eye, James?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a little Austin in your eye?
Got a little
Burn off your
what?
eyelashes as well?
Got a little Austin?
What?
Little Austin in there? In your eye?
No. Can I have a topo?
Yeah, there it is. Look at you. Look at you.
Yeah, Ben and J-Lo.
Making out everywhere, all over the place. Happiest I've ever seen him. Him and the mom were back in the casinos, exactly like I said on the show. Everybody was axing me. Ross, how did you know that he used to fucking go to the casinos with the mom all the time? And I'm like, bro, I know Affleck, dude.
Sure.
Affleck.
You know your Affleck.
We had Gilbert Gottfried on yesterday on Drinking Bros. Mm-hmm. Affleck, the duck himself. He got to say.
Stay focused.
He gets to say, "Hey everyone, this is." Well, I asked him about Ben Affleck.
I know.
And he goes, "Don't know him.
Don't know him. Okay. Stay focused. So, Ben and J-Lo, I like it. You know, okay, but this is how deep cut the recycling season is.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie was spotted going into, what was the first husband from Hackers?
Johnny. Lee
Miller.
Yes, really?
Yes, with
Look
a
at
bottle
that.
of wine and a black little trench coat. I'm like, holy shit, it is recycling way back. It's not, she went to see Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Or she went to, Billy Bob.
She went to Jared, yeah.
She went to Johnny Lee Miller,
That was 25 years ago, maybe.
Oh.
And that was before Billy Bob.
Mercury is in super retrograde.
Yeah, I mean, all these celebrities are going back to like Jennifer Garner. They're going back to these really, really old relationships where it was like, I don't know if it was the pandemic and people just had real time to think where they were like, who was I happiest with? And then they're going back and finding them.
Right.
But
Let me say, I need to point something out.
Sure.
So it's all fine and good. They're back together, right?
Uh-huh.
But since their relationship, Ben was full on married to someone, had 3 kids. She was married to someone, had 2 kids. What happens when those people go back to the ex before that?
Right.
Is like if I'm Jennifer Garner, I'm like, holy shit, you were thinking about her the whole time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then whoever the skinny singer guy that
Mark Anthony.
Sorry.
I
think Affleck's actually on record saying that his biggest mistake was losing Jennifer Garner.
Even when he was
Garner or
Garner.
Lopez?
Garner.
Okay. All right.
Garner.
Yeah. And I think he's just like...
I think you're right, actually. And
I think he's just taking it all out on J-Lo. Like, he's just trying to get something back.
I don't think
Something back. That's right.
I think Garner got pushed to the edge with like the cheating and partying and all that other shit. Her last thing was the Jack in the Box.
And so is J-Lo,
on the
by
way
the
to rehab at 7 a.m. That is the best picture of all time.
When when it goes from recycling season to trash season, like he's going out.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be done.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But right now, they're feeling the green. feeling the recycling.
We just got out. Let's go to a restaurant.
But okay, so that was my point is like, okay, so how Jennifer Garner, like Mark Anthony is like, love it, it's fine with it. He doesn't give a fuck. And then Garner's like, I'm cool with it. Like her statement was very kind of hot and cold, like cold kind of. And so I was like, because now you're thinking about your whole relationship. Like, was he just pining over her the whole time? Like, anytime you get back with the ex like that, it's like, dang, was it all a lie? Were you fucking texting? I don't know, right? Not that it matters, and I'm sure Garner doesn't care, but it really, it takes away, there's more to it, I think, than just like, oh, the exes are back together. Like, they had full-on marriages and kids and families and lives, and like, okay.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Because the other part of me looks at it, here's why. The other part of me looks at it like the other biggest hits during the pandemic was Hollywood. Hollywood got hit bad, right? Mm-hmm. So now, in order to maintain your movie star status, you have to go back and do old school shit where you had these flashy relationships and everything else to get movies made, to get your name out there, because
like remake Giggly. Was it Giggly?
Giggly?
Giggly.
Yep.
Bob, what is it? Geely?
It was Giggly. It was
Giggly. No, he said I was right. It's Giggly.
It's Giggly.
It's Giggly. But yeah, you've got to put yourself out there in the press and the tabloids and all that other stuff, because it is a different Hollywood now, where you've got to put everything out there and do all of the things so people remember you and be like, oh, well, they could be the lead in this new Netflix series or whatever the fuck it is. Mm-hmm. And I think most of them are back to that world, especially the whites, because white men in Hollywood are not doing well right now. That is, if you're trying to be a leading man, you're pushed down the list there, right?
I'm scared for my sons.
No, they're not going.
I'm scared for my son.
I had this conversation.
I just want them to be seen.
I had this conversation with somebody else. They said their daughter or something wanted to be an actress and whatever. And I go, look, they were super young, and it was a friend of mine. And I said, look, you will make more money if you go into YouTube and do like makeup tutorials and all that other shit, rather than trying to get exactly. TikTok, YouTube, they all make more than movie stars now. And I know it sounds crazy, but dude, again, walking into that stadium, I know I said this before, walking into that stadium in Miami and seeing Logan Paul's face on the scoreboard with Showtime underneath it fighting Floyd Mayweather after 2 fights was incredible. And it shows you where we're at as a society with celebrity. Now, with Ben and Jen, I think that's why they're doing it, where it's just like, dude, this will gain endless fucking attention. When their agents go in to push them for movies and everything else, they're there, and everybody's talking about this right now. Whereas the other people, I don't know. Who else is really out there making headlines, I guess, except for fucking J-Lo's ex, A-Rod. He's out doing weird shit, but what's his gig and what's he trying to do? Everybody else, man, is not really like that anymore.
Right.
I can't name the big relationship. And there's also a fear element to it, too, where all these people don't want to put a lot of shit public, because then you end up like a Chrissy Teigen. And then yesterday, we were watching TMZ, and they're tracking down John Legend, and they were like, do you have a statement about your life and everything's going on? And it's like, well, there's the other side of it if you put too much out there. And, so I think with Ben, he doesn't have any social media. I mean, he has it, but let's face it, somebody else runs it. And I think with him and her, all of this is great. They don't really talk to the press anyway. So that's the only thing that everybody's talking about actor-wise right now. Otherwise, shit, they're all doing game shows. They're all doing Pooch Perfect and the dating game we just watched the other night with Zooey Deschanel.
To tell the truth.
Yeah, and you got to get out there and do the old school salacious shit. Almost like the 80s with Johnny Depp. Remember Johnny Depp was always seen out doing fucking weird shit, dating weird people and everything else. And you were like, yeah, baby. That's where we're kind of at as a society. So this relationship makes sense. And plus, I wouldn't discount the mom, by the way.
As far as being instrumental. Oh, yeah. So it was said that she missed him the most.
She said that was her dream boy for her daughter, and he fucking parties all night and gambles. The mom parties all night and gambles.
Dream boy for her daughter.
My dream boy. The abuela said that.
If they're in their 50s.
Well,
these people. Okay?
It's the abuela who's saying that. Mm-hmm. And then what happened? First night out, he's with G-Ma.
And I guess
giving her slot instructions, and I was just like, man.
What's her name again?
Abuela
the
Lopez.
Mom.
Is it Abuela Lopez?
Bob can find it really quick. But it's she's doing a cameo in his movie that's shooting in Vegas. Like they are loving it.
I love it.
Shit, let me pull this up on the computer with the screen. But her name
is.
But I was gonna say I didn't expect this. Guadalupe Rodriguez is her name. 75.
So Lupe.
Yeah, Lupe.
She looks pretty good.
She does.
Really?
So it is.
Put a picture
jeans.
up on screen.
It is jeans. Like
okay.
When people give Jennifer Lopez shit about like I just use olive oil and sleep on my back and never drink in your entire life, you're like, oh fuck you. But the jeans were there. The mom looks fucking great. Yeah. So it's possible, right? And she's not white, so she's obviously got good genes as far as like aging.
Fuck, she's 75?
75.
Look at that face too.
Yeah.
And neck.
Yeah, young neck.
If you're blessed with a neck like that, you can work everything else out.
Oh yeah.
You can work everything else out.
So yeah, genes have a lot to do with it.
So it may just be olive oil. I mean, I retract my statement. But she's also gotten work done. So don't lie. But, you know, so it's the new thing for celebrities to be like, well, I haven't gone under the knife, right? Like nobody goes under the knife anymore. So you can't use that as an excuse of like, no, I haven't gotten like work done. I've only gotten, you know, Botox fillers, injections, and a little bit of microneedling and some thermage. And you're like, yeah, that's work.
Yeah,
that's getting work done. Just because you weren't old school with the knife and stretching the face doesn't mean you didn't have work.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite bands of all time is Outkast. That is no secret. Obviously, I grew up with them very close down the street. I can actually say same county because we talked about this with Tansy yesterday about the Buckhead things, and I was like, we are actually in the same county. It's just the biggest county of all time, and it should have been split into two years and years ago.
This isn't weird. I said this to Bob the other day. So when Tiffany was here, she was like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "St. Louis." She's like, "Oh my fucking!" And they were freaking out that they were both from St. Louis. Like, it's a huge place, right?
Huge place, yeah. Yeah.
It's like people that are both from New York. You're from New York, go for yeah.
New York. First off, New York is like 9x the size of population to St. Louis.
How many people does St. Louis have?
Metro area is a little under 3 million.
Okay, so with Ohio State, I would always get people to come up to me and be like, "Hey man, I went to Ohio State."
Don't come for me.
What year did you graduate? What year did you go there? Whatever. I was like, if we didn't know each other, we didn't know each other. There was 65,000 kids that went to school there. I didn't meet
weird.
all of them.
When I see someone from Ohio State, it was such a huge fucking. When you guys fucking jack each other off, when you're like, you went there, it's like fucking huge.
The connection of people from St. Louis is tighter than the connection from people who went to Ohio State.
Is it, Bob?
Coming from someone who's witnessed those people.
He's an outsider who lived that life.
Oh,
They love each other. They're
you know
like,
what
what
would
high
be
school
weird?
did you go to? Let me judge you immediately.
Here's where it would be exciting, right? Like someone walks up to Dan and is like, "Oh, you're from Delco?" Like I'm from. Do you know what I mean? Then it would be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
St. Louis, pretty standard.
You can find May in St. Louis.
If I had a dime for every time I meet someone that's from St. Louis, I'd be a fucking millionaire.
Exactly. But anyways, that was probably 40 minutes from me, same county, and not even close. And that was a terrible area.
Not the same.
Not the same at all. But we were huge fans, and that was kind of our, one of the local bands growing up, if you will. And so it was Outkast. Like most people had West Coast or New York rap. Ours was Outkast, and they just made dope shit. And the Dungeon family there with the rest of those rappers was the rest of us, right? That we listened to all their shit. Even Bombs Over Baghdad and the Dungeon family gonna ride. Ha! This is the Dungeon family. The reason I'm bringing it up is they recorded in this little place, this little tiny house in Georgia called the Dungeon. There was nothing on the floors and all that other shit. They just pop up and do cool shit all the time. So Big Boy, the other half of Outkast, obviously with Andre 3000, a.k.a. 3 Stacks, they are renting out. It's the 25th anniversary of Atlians, AT-Aliens, and they're renting it out. And for $25, you can come and stay in the house with them for the actual Dungeon and Outkast house. Now, it has been drastically redone and is very, very nice.
Sure.
But for the 25th anniversary, they're going to go live here, I guess, at like noon on like, I don't know, next Wednesday. Oh, here it is. June 25th at 1 p.m. First come, first serve. And they're only doing it for 3 days. And the money is going to charity to benefit kids K through 12 there. And it's pretty rad. They just do cool shit like this all the time. And it led me to the question that I've asked for years and years and years is like, is Andre 3000 sitting on 2,000 or 3,000 songs like Prince that we just don't know about? I say yes.
Yeah.
Because he's like the new Bill Murray. He just keeps popping up in weird places with a flute,
I love that.
double flute.
I love that.
Yeah. So people are starting to post.
The last thing I saw of Bill Murray is he was like at some party and grabbed some girl's jewel and just started puffing and gave it back to her. I was like, yes, that's what I say, you jewel and rule.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Bill Murray doesn't give a shit.
No.
Now, Andre 3000 doesn't go anywhere without this double flute. And he's been spotted like in different cities with the flute. He helped somebody out with a flat tire the other day on the side of the road. And he had the flute.
What's a double flute?
Pull up Andre 3000 and the double flute. It is an instrument that he either made or had made for him in, I believe, Africa, he said.
He's so cool.
He's the coolest of all time. He's ice cold, dude. Nailed it.
I can't hear you.
There it is. See, okay,
so what's cool and being
what's cool and being cool? Ice cold. So there on the left was when he was at the gas station helping somebody out.
Oh, it's a wooden...
Yeah, it's this wooden double flute. Now, the one on the right here, this picture that you're seeing on the right of him, is him showing up in different places, just playing it at random. So the places he's shown up and played at random were in New York for an outdoor yoga sesh. He just walked down the street, sat in on it, and played for like 45 minutes. And people took a couple videos, but not a lot. Everybody was just like, man, this is crazy. I think this is Andre 3000, and it is. And then the other video that's circulating was him at the Atlanta airport in Hartsfield during a delay, like people were getting angry, and he just pulled out the double flute and started playing it in Hartsfield airport, which I would have lost all of my shit inside
all
my
of your
body.
Shit, dude.
Yeah. And I
you would have gone up to him, started playing it.
Oh, he's the greatest.
You would have grabbed his flute.
That is one interview that I would kill to have just to know why he disappeared. As I don't think anybody has that answer fully.
He's rich. He made movies. He did whatever he wanted.
I understand
He's
that.
Rich and
but
probably...
like when you're one of the greatest musicians or rappers of all time, well, I'll say musician because he played all the instruments for most of this shit and he taught himself. When you're like that, I just don't understand the ability to stop, walk away, and never do it again. Like, for example, if we won the lottery or whatever the fuck happened, or whoever ends up buying out this company and make $1 gajillion, they'll usually put you on for 3 to 5 years, like Call Her Daddy, which we'll get to after this. But then you're like, all right, when you have that kind of money, do you just leave and not do anything? My answer, Giorgio, is no. I still love writing books so much that and I love doing podcasts that the answer is no for me. So with him, when music is that big of a part of your life, why would you just stop and never do it again? I don't buy it.
He didn't stop.
I don't buy it.
He just didn't do it in the way that you wanted him to.
No.
I would probably say that he kept doing it.
That's what I think. But I think it's in a vault somewhere like Prince, where Prince has thousands of songs in this vault. Didn't sign a will, so I'm sure they'll come out eventually, and his family's going to fuck him over, but he never thought they were good enough. Dr. Dre is the same way, where that album hasn't come out in 20 fucking years.
Here's something that's going to surprise you, Ross. Mm-hmm. Andre 3000 has been on a piece of music that has been released every single year.
Correct. So
you say he stopped doing? He hasn't.
No. Yeah. So it's not that, right? So he'll when you say do a piece of music every year, he'll show up, maybe do a feature for somebody that he likes or he's trying to help come up. But as far as his own album, dude, there was never anyone like Outkast. That's what we want.
Well, yeah, and here's how you can prove it. Listen to the features he was on since 2004. Q-Tip, Jim Jones, Jay-Z, Ice Cube, Nas, Rich Boy,
Yeah.
Kanye West, the Pussycat Dolls.
Acting and stuff, like being
Lil
right?
Wayne, Tech
Yeah.
Nine,
Yeah.
Drake, Rick Ross, Frank Ocean, Beyonce,
Yeah.
Future. It's like he's just on it with it's just a crowning achievement to have Andre 3000 be
Oh,
on song on your
100%.
album.
Yeah,
now.
they're all honored to have him on there. I mean, it's fucking insane.
The man's working. The man's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still, man, I just want the
He
fucking,
didn't
I want a new album.
disappear.
I
He
want a new
just
album.
isn't doing it the way you want him to.
I want a new album from Outkast. Is that selfish?
Yes.
Damn it. People love Outkast. I want a new album. Want one. Because I still think they
Or
would.
do they want to go out with that?
Well, they look.
Amazing album
If
and
they
be like,
if they have
"That's
gone
it."
out on top and that's it, great. My other theory was the Hey Ya thing just got too big, and he did not.
I'm sure he
want
had
that to be
issues
too
with
big.
Hey Ya being used in a fucking tampon commercial or whatever, right? Like, hey.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Don't want to meet your daddy. No, because it's tampons, and I had a heavy flow day. Don't want to meet your daddy.
Dumb.
So I'm not sure, but damn it, I love him and I miss him.
In an article in
Miss him.
2014, Andre 3000 says he felt like a sellout.
Yep.
Really? All right. So that confirms what I thought, and it wasn't his fault. You just make a dope album, and then people do whatever they're gonna fucking do with it. The one was the
No, I mean, people.
No. I just
You
meant
have
the
to
world.
agree. Oh, okay,
The
but you
world
have
is
to
going
agree
to-
to it being used in the Jetta commercial and the fucking thing. Like,
Yeah. But I think at that point, when they're paying you that much millions of dollars, and if you feel like that anyways, might as well take the cash.
Sure.
But I remember, I think it was the Grammys that year, and every 10 seconds it was Hey Ya in and out because they knew they were going to win all night, and it was just like, oh boy. I can imagine in his mind he was just like, fuck. Because he probably just wrote it and was like, this sounds dope, and then all of a sudden it's tampon commercials.
Right.
Yeah. Which you're going to see a lot of, by the way. I hate to say it, but all of these
Tampon commercials?
Well, all of these old singers are now selling all their back catalogs. The only reason for that is so these corporations can exploit it using commercials, movies, and everything else. So
That would be a really fun Patreon, Giorgio. So we would go through like shitty commercials and then try and find the song, like a Beatles song or something that would go with it and kind of change the words to.
Oh, we're scoring commercials. Like we're hyping up.
But like
commercials
we're
with better
going like,
music.
okay, so
Yeah.
this is a herpes commercial or whatever it is. Like, what is a song that we can? Do you know what I mean?
Why herpes right away?
why go herpes right off the bat? You know?
Well, what would be like diapers? Adult diaper? What would be
Beano.
a commercial that you would be like
Beano,
Beano?
we were just like, oh boy.
Beano, Activia.
Yeah.
That's one that they
Hyundai
get real
Elantra.
gross with. Yeah. What?
Hyundai Elantra car commercial. Just a basic car.
Okay,
This
and
girl
then-
is on fire for herpes would be great with Alicia
Oh.
Keys. Yeah.
But we have to change like a word too, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it on Patreon. I'm not going to say it here, but
I'm wearing my diaper.
this.
Oh, there's a new. You asked me the other day about who the fuck listens to radio anymore.
Yeah.
Me. And there's this new.
Yeah,
fucking,
you're the one guy.
Yeah,
you,
the one guy.
You and Jonathan Brown. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
There's this new fucking trend on radio, on terrestrial radio, where any product basically will take the full tune and instruments and everything of a song, but redo the words.
Right.
For like.
But blended into the song that's going into the commercial, correct?
I don't know about that, but you'll just be flipping stations, and it'll be like, "Oh, great, this song I like is on," and then it takes like 5 seconds for you to realize it's a fucking commercial.
So I have the answer
I
for
do that with Christian radio
Yeah.
sometimes.
If I hear a Christian song and I'm just like, yeah, this is fucking great. And then it
it's like-
pops up with it, and believe in Christ. I'm like, God.
No,
damn
it's
it,
like
man.
it's like a rockin' song. You're like, yeah, and then it's
Yeah.
and we exalt, right? Like,
And we believe in Christ. I'm like, God damn it, man. I didn't know this was
Give
that.
it up to the Lord.
Yeah.
But the answer to that, Bob, is this. So terrestrial radio is almost dead, right? All the stations are going away. All the DJs are going away and everything like that. So what they're doing is making songs that sound like hit songs. So the commercials will blend into them. And that way the listener is not trying to punch to a different station. All of them are doing that, but they're almost out. I mean, shit, dude. If you knew the ad rates for radio now, it's like $200 for like local stations, and they're done. All these DJs too, like all my favorite DJs in LA and all that shit back in the day, gone. K-Rock is gone. Kevin and Bean. Who was it? Bean has moved to fucking Ireland was just like, all my dream. He knew in advance. He was like, I knew terrestrial radio was going to die. So he started putting money away for this house in Ireland or England or whatever. And that's where he lives. So when they got the old axe, he was like, see you later, cruel world.
Right.
I'm out of here. But that's what they're trying to do. So that's the last stage of this. It's kind of like Sirius XM, how they're propped up by Stern. If you go to Sirius XM radio, 5 stations, 5 are dedicated to Howard Stern. One of them is just like back catalog shit. And that is the only thing that is propping up Sirius Radio. When he leaves, that whole network goes. That's it. Because even Barstool signed a deal with them, and they're out of there. That ended. Now, I mean, personally, I just don't think Barstool had the content for it, but whatever. They're gone. Speaking of which, that'll go to the next one. Call Her Daddy. Talking about this a lot on the show in the last few weeks. Everybody's buying out podcasts. That was one of the biggest numbers I've seen for somebody who only does one show a week.
Yeah.
Call Her Daddy got $60 million. Can you pop up that article, Bob? So her contract was up with Barstool,
which is when they should have done the negotiation in the first
place. They
place.
did. And so here's what I'm going to tell you why this happened. In that negotiation, they fought for getting their IP back. So Homegirl had the IP. Once the contract is up, she was able to go anywhere. Literally the day that this contract ends, she signs a $60 million deal with Spotify to get out of Barstool. So
I thought
the only way she could do that,
had her IP.
she did not. So that was the fight that they were going through, and that was the whole Suits thing.
Oh, okay, and she didn't want to start Call Her Daddy 2.0 or whatever.
Correct. So Dave Portnoy came in and said, look, if you sign this deal, I will give you back your IP at a certain date. And I want to say it was 12 months or something like that. Okay. So she got her IP back, and then boom, she is gone. Now, what I can't figure out is, because I don't really like her or this show that much, I get the interest in it. And I would certainly put a show like that on our network for sure.
There's a place for it, for sure.
There is. There absolutely is a place for it. I just don't think she's that great. There's a ton of funny chicks out there. I just don't think that she's that great.
I actually think her co-host that left was funnier.
Yes, and she has her own show as well, and it does pretty well on the charts. But $60 million for 4 years is crazy town to me when you're only doing one show a week. But that is where we're headed with podcasts. Like,
they have the numbers.
My God, man! And then Dax Shepard is gone as well. He just signed exclusively with Spotify as well. I heard that number was very similar.
It's the name. Like I can't stress how important a good name is and good branding is, and the amount of girls on Tinder who put hashtag Call Her Daddy in her Tinder profile.
Yep.
Like, it is a plague swarm
army.
It's not even a show anymore. It's like a fucking.
It's an idea. It's a concept.
Yeah,
but
like
it's
a vibe.
also an event where it's like with us, like our listeners, we call them the Nooners. Like, dude. Everybody knows each other. They text each other. It's a community. Same with Drinking Bros. It's the same way. And I think that is important. And you're speaking to your audience. It's when you deviate from that. That's where you end up with a shitty show. So, look, I'm not knocking Call Her Daddy or her fan base. They're amazing. I just can't believe she got $60 million from Spotify for one show a week.
Yeah.
That is a lot of money. So you're gonna see some ramifications from this, and it's going to be on iTunes. iTunes is going to start buying out people next, and we'll see where this all heads up. But it's exciting to see, to say the least.
No, it elevates the medium. Like anyone getting that makes it at least makes people look at podcasts in a different way. So we all benefit from a legitimacy to podcasts, right?
Well, to me, that stigma was gone a long time ago. When Rogan signed on for $120 a year, I was just like, well, that's out the window. That's what Stern gets for Sirius XM. And I was like, all right, great. Bill Simmons, his was $300 million for The Ringer. I mean, that's fucking gnarly for those podcasts.
Yeah.
Do you guys still listen to Bill Simmons, by the way? No.
I never really did.
I don't know who that is.
That's hilarious, man. Is it an older generation for Bill Simmons?
It has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
I don't listen to him either.
Right before our
It's
time,
it's definitely like I think he's fully like Gen X is his base for sure.
Yeah.
But it's huge. He has one of the biggest audiences in the world.
Oh yeah.
He only makes like 80s references. So
Yeah.
It's
just it's just that you don't see it. You don't
And they're
hear.
super young.
Yeah. You just don't hear about it on Twitter or whatever because it's not youthful and who gives a shit? Like, go die, old man. Like, what do you care?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about you.
I got you.
You're like 50.
Yeah.
You're my dad.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
That's the way.
Is your dad 50?
Is your dad 50?
No, my dad's fucking 70.
Jesus Christ.
That would have been.
Well,
Get out of here, old
Bob,
lady. What are
he
you,
could have
like
had
30?
you at 16 years old. Yeah, we don't know. I don't know your home life.
I don't think he's that cool.
St. Louis, though, you know.
Yeah, St. Louis, the Lou, and I'm proud. Nelly.
I mean, Van Pelt's like 50.
Scott Van Pelt?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that makes sense.
But
he's
hey-
bald and,
Yeah.
you know. By the way, I love SVP. Shit, I think he would make more than he ever dreamed of if he had a podcast versus being on ESPN.
He has a podcast
He does. But
for
does
ESPN.
ESPN own it? Yeah. There's your problem.
with Stanford Steve.
Yeah, there's your problem. So ESPN's taking that fucking money.
He doesn't get paid that much.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't. The highest paid employee on ESPN is Stephen A. Smith, and he makes $3 million. So it is criminal that SVP is not making that because he could do that and he could double that in podcasts in a fucking 6 months.
It says his salary is $4 million actually.
SVP?
Yeah.
That might be for the radio then. Good for him.
This is just
Yeah.
It's not the best.
How many
source.
days a week is he on that morning show? That'll tell you the answer.
I don't
Is it 5 days?
I have probably.
Yeah. That'll be the answer for it.
$4 million, still not a lot.
No, he could double that if he wanted a podcast. I'm sure he will at some points. Speaking of which, you and I were watching the end of Conan O'Brien last night. That was weird, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're down to like a few weeks left on Conan, and then we flipped over. You and I haven't watched late night TV in a while.
Yeah.
Because it's been dead, right? Flipping over to Jimmy Fallon seemed weird, as it all seems fake now. You know.
Yeah.
Seth Meyers was the one last night. Holy shit.
He's done. Not that he's done, he's over. It's like he's over it himself.
He yelled at a writer live on air last night. That was, well, actually, they're
It was
tapes.
a la-
They could have edited that out.
It
They're
was
tapes.
a la Ross Patterson,
Yeah.
where
yes.
it was some joke about the new Bronco coming with AC, right?
Yeah.
Didn't, whatever.
And then
It wasn't horrible. It was like a dumb monologue joke. Like, it wasn't horrible, but he looked over and he was like,
He looked over at the writer and just like this, and he goes, I mean, it was a full stop. And he just goes, that's what we're doing now?
he seemed pissed.
Telling jokes from the 90s.
It was a total break of character. It wasn't funny.
I
He
mean,
was like,
exactly
well,
like this. Yeah, he goes, that's what we're doing now? Just telling jokes from the 90s? Great. And then he looks in the camera and he goes, that, ladies and gentlemen, was a monologue.
So like Seth Meyers, like happy Seth, smiley
Yeah.
Seth Meyers. It's like, we're here. He's done. He's gone.
He had a break last night.
He's left the building.
Yeah.
And I get it.
I do too. It's again, all of
But
it.
they're over it too. Like
Yeah.
talking to that writer, like he's over it.
They're
That's
over
why
it.
he wrote that thing. He's like, what the fuck else am I going to talk about?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in that realm right now is all that happy with,
No.
with
No.
the material they're putting out.
No, they're not.
Like, I really think they're starting to feel because Seth Meyers, like I'm like the biggest soft spot for SNL and that stuff that you could possibly have. I have multiple friends who call me an apologist for the show and alumni of the show. And I always thought Seth Meyers was like really good and one of the better monologuists and cutting joke deliverers.
So look, in all honesty, because I
even you're
used to
saying,
love
Bob,
SNL.
You're done.
I'm saying that he's gotten so like neutered and defeated
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know what it's from. I really don't know what it's from, but it feels like the one thing I can tell for sure is it doesn't look like anyone, with maybe the exception of Jimmy Fallon because he's a puppy.
But just think about
I don't think
how
it-
much we need to curb our shit here. It's 10 million times more
Oh.
on
The executives that you have to
Prime
answer
time?
to, dude, it's
like-
it's nuts.
Yeah.
So you can't say anything anymore. The other part about it is all of those late night shows. The interviews are only 8 minutes, so you have to ask these canned questions. Whereas a podcast, we had Matthew McConaughey on Monday nights here, Monday night, and you can take your time. You can talk for hours about whatever you want and everything else, and he's fantastic. And that's what you want to hear. Like, shit, I don't because of how many shows we shoot out of here, I think we're at like 125 a month. I don't get time to watch all of them, but like I'll pop in to a McConaughey and be like, all right, great. Holy shit, this was awesome, right? Even Aaron Carter, as fucking crazy as that was, it was a great show.
I believe him.
I know you do.
I believe
I know you believe Aaron Carter. But like that was a great show last week, and it was like, holy shit. That's what's interesting about it. That's what's missing from late night. For your SNL apologists here, I will say this, because I don't like it now. However, I loved it growing up, obviously. Seth Meyers was a great head writer. He was great on Weekend Updates. And, you know.
He oversaw the last great era.
Yes.
Which was Bill Hader, Andy Samberg, Kristen Wiig, etc.
When he left and those guys left at the same time, to me, that was when it died. I know we had Gilbert Gottfried on 2 days ago.
When was Tina before him?
She was right before
him. And I thought he did a good job with the rest of those guys. I'm with you. And then when he left, that was when it was all gone. And, I don't know what's going to happen because the rumor is behind the scenes that he was going to take over for SNL once Lauren packs it in.
I think he would be the absolute best person to do that.
That's the rumor I've heard.
But is he like too beaten down to do it? I don't know.
I think at 11:30 with an hour and a half show on a Saturday night, they're kind of like, it's a brand, do whatever you want. Whereas,
Not really.
yeah. Who knows?
They actually just had their highest rated season ever.
Who?
Really?
SNL. They were the highest among 18 to 49-year-olds too.
Not ever.
That can't
Really?
be.
I'll bring it up. My wife.
Highest rating ever?
My wife sent me the other day, and she was like, "How? How?"
Yeah,
that can't
how?
be true.
That's a
Don't believe
lie.
it.
I don't believe that.
Adjusted metrics.
Yeah,
The real king of
no.
late night is back, though, guys. Rick and Morty season 5 back.
Oh, you're not a fan of Rick and Morty over there. A lot of people.
Big
That's
surprise.
shocking.
What? Yeah, that's weird. And
Big
here's-
surprise. Dan
Dan's
doesn't like
Dan's too
something.
cool for Rick and Morty. Don't tell other Dan because he's a dog named Morty. But that's
All
coming
right,
back.
That what?
I've got the ratings here. Hollywood Reporter. So this is legit for the first time in history. Finished ahead of every other entertainment show in ratings.
Okay, but that not highest ever over every other energy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
in your playing field
Correct.
this year.
So here's the rub on this, Bob. So exactly what Jesse's saying. For the season, SNL averaged 2.06 rating in the demo, which is equivalent to about 2.67 million adults under 50. That is not a lot of people. That is not even 1/5 of Drinking Bros. It's a quarter of Drinking Bros.
But Bob's not wrong, I guess. So they did better than.
They did better than everyone else. However, everyone else is
They also have
struggling as well.
They also have I think an obscene amount of YouTube views this year.
So
well,
that's the thing is I think for their
yeah.
clips they maybe they can add those numbers.
Here's the thing. So with the clips, that ad revenue is generated into your thing, and if you're going off a +3 and you're looking at those clips, yeah, you could put those in there because the best sketches still end up on YouTube. Like you and I were watching that Jordan sketch with Jordan Peele the other night, or I'm sorry, Keegan-Michael Key. And
anyway, that was hilarious.
But you and I went to YouTube, and it was like, all right, great. And SNL's got their own clips channel on YouTube.
1.6 billion views this season on YouTube.
Yeah, so look.
It's still a brand name.
It is. But it's got to be clips now, and it's got to be viral clips. That's what the Daily Show used to be too, as well. That's why they backed up the truck for Jon Stewart and all those guys, because his little 5-minute clips would go viral and then bring more people in and all that other stuff. I think now people are just waiting for the clips.
Fake views.
Yeah.
Bots.
Yeah. Not bots. I think it's real.
Hollywood bots.
yeah.
Maybe. Who
Russian.
knows? Russian. It's all Russian, Jabes. It's all foreign here. Damn it.
Damn it. People are wanting a crime corner, but I was wanting to do a cringe corner.
Yeah, because we had a real live crime corner.
We did.
We got robbed.
And so we started with a crime corner, which right outside my window, heard rustling, guys were wearing black and hustled away. So as much as I thought that's what I wanted in my life, I don't. I was terrified.
By the way, we don't know that they were wearing black, and the surveillance footage.
What do you think?
Great.
Doink Doink came up in his blue collared shirt?
We just turned in the footage. Who knows? The police have it. Who cares? What do you got for the cringe corner here today?
I emailed it to Rob, but it was coming from.
Yeah, it's up. I got it up.
Okay, so and fast forward to we'll go to where this gal.
Oh, is this Erica Jane? I talked about her a little bit on Patreon last night.
Stage. So if you can find, So then she's gonna sing. I think it's expensive to
Don't
be me.
play the song, or else we'll get flagged for that. Yeah, we can't. We're on YouTube.
All right, so you can. Yeah, I guess just mute it and play this, and then we'll talk about why this is both cringy and. So she's saying it's expensive to be me, and like hired all those people and made music videos, and she is a close to 50-year-old blossoming pop star.
49 years old, yes.
49, just young. But anyway,
super young.
How she gets all the money because it is so expensive to be her is her husband steals money from burn victims, orphans, anyone that was a victim of any kind of huge tragedy where they can.
The Indonesian Air, the Lion Air that crashed,
right?
And those victims.
He sued PG&E a couple times because of gas
Aaron
pipes.
Brockovich. She was famous for Aaron Brockovich.
So
he got that lawsuit done. Yeah.
Basically, if you haven't seen the documentary or you haven't heard of this, the person on the Real Housewives, Erica, this young budding pop star.
49, Erica Jane.
49, just
former
beginning
stripper.
out in the world. Anyway,
former stripper.
Yes, all of that money from that and all of their videos and everything is coming from victims, burn victims.
Yes. So ABC News did a full doc on this, and I was unaware of any of that. I knew who the attorney was, and it's like, dude, he's massively famous. Yes, massively famous in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I did not think in a million years somebody of that stature would be keeping money, stealing it from burn victims and shit like that. I mean, they interviewed all the people, people's parents who had died and all this other stuff. He kept the money and gave it to this whore and let her live her best life. Shocking.
Is it?
Yes.
I think that men will do crazy things outside of their character when there is a woman that demands
Here's what I just don't understand, okay? That older white, as you call them, blonde woman like that, dime a dozen. Giorgio will tell you that. There's so many strippers out in the world. You can go anywhere, right? And when you have that kind of money, because I've seen it firsthand with Harvey Weinstein showing up with a prostitute that was $100,000, I saw it firsthand and I was like, oh, well, you could just buy this and then tell them to go home. Why do you want to put up with any of that bullshit at all at that age? Like, just bang prostitutes and be a sweet lawyer. I don't understand why you want to put up with any of this bullshit.
Giorgio has something to say.
It's the lie. They want the lie.
Who does? The lawyer or?
No, the guy. The guy always wants the lie. They want to know it's not for the money. When you tell them to go home, you know it's for the money.
Exactly right.
Exactly right. You want them to bend to the will for the money.
You want the stripper to be like, fall in love with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, she knew exactly what she was doing. She was totally in charge of it. They were when they got married, she found him in a bar, whatever. She was a waitress. She did all this stuff. Yeah. They got married. I think they were out drinking or at some country club, and they pulled a judge that they knew and a witness that they knew or whatever. And she just got married right there with no prenup, and it was just so romantic. No, that bitch worked that shit out.
Yeah.
And here she is, and she just got a bunch of money deposited into her bank account.
Yep.
It is what it is. But I think if it wasn't, now look, on the Real Housewives, which some of them are the real criminals of Beverly Hills, the real criminals of New York City, whatever, it's a lot of like tax fraud and a lot of, trying to get over one on the government who's actually fucking you as well. So we kind of let that go.
Yeah.
But when this is the second housewife that actually has for real victims in her wake, right? And so I think it's a little bit deeper than all of the other criminals, like Teresa Giudice that went to fucking jail for tax evasion, whatever. It's fine. But like, this is different.
Yeah,
so cringe corner / crime corner / nobody wants to hear about it. But
watching that doc with you is
she will
depressing.
go to jail.
I don't think she will, actually.
I think she will.
I don't think she will.
Her lawyers, her bankruptcy lawyers just dropped her. Her other lawyers just dropped her after that doc. I think there's things that because of not being honest about some things is what they cited.
Maybe.
So I think there's more stuff that's going to come out. And like, look, if Teresa can do it, like they will, because of how much she flaunted it,
Sure.
I think is where she's going to get time, because that's the only thing that these people will feel justified from. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is what it is. But anyway, cringe.
Cringe
guys.
corner, and it was a hard doc to watch, but I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Why'd they have to start
really
with
good.
Danielle Staub? That face is hard to look at. Oof. Start with someone credible.
All those housewives aren't really that great looking. Let's be honest with you.
It's expensive to be me. It's so expensive that I need to steal from burn victims and orphans.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Last but not least here, new show starting tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. That is Failure to Stop. That is on Mike the Cop's YouTube channel and Facebook. So you'll be able to watch that show there. He is with Eric Tanzi. We had them on Drinking Bros yesterday. That is going to be a great show, great addition to the lineup. So they'll be going live off of that. D'Anthony Holloway just walked in. Hey, Dan, are you guys live for American Party tomorrow as well? Noon. So, noon Central. So that'll be 1 o'clock.
And they're pretty prompt. So it's not like a...
Okay, tomorrow's show on American Party
tune
is
in.
called The Many Murders of Hillary Clinton. I am all in on that.
Love it.
And look, a lot of people are all in on that show. The numbers keep rising and rising and rising.
Yes.
I just think it fit a niche that was underserved in a way of thinking that I think a lot of people have. They just didn't want to admit it. And then they were looking for a place and they found a home in American Party. So that show will be live right after.
I think it helps that they
Failure
go
to
on
Stop.
time, too.
It does,
Ross.
absolutely. Oh, look.
No, you look.
It was not us today. We sat in an hour of traffic.
It is
and,
us.
No, it's not.
Anyways.
Well, here's the thing. If that's the COVID, if that's the after COVID traffic that we're dealing with, then shit. We're fucked.
Anyways, we really try for you guys.
We
promise.
do. But we never miss. Rain or shine, we don't miss.
Not true.
Always honor contracts, deals, everything else. We don't steal. We don't show up and steal from
We're not thugs.
people's houses. But we'll keep you informed on the trial of the century once Homeboy goes in from Clear Reflections. And we're living out our own crime corner here. And it's the best of times and the worst of times, Jabes.
Yes.
God damn it if you don't look beautiful every single day. Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. For Jessie Huisman, a.k.a. the Jables, I'm Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Oh, buenos tardes, everyone.
Good afternoon.